Hey everybody, it's Mike. I'm back to do another show, talk about Hare Krishna, continue talking about what's going on right now in the Hare Krishnas, and also some other stuff. So, and pick up where I left off from yesterday. So I got a lot of stuff going on, and let's see. Here we go.
Hello?
Hello.
All right. So, first thing I want to talk about before I get into this the Hare Krishna stuff. The first thing I want to say is this knitting cult lady. Knitting cult lady is she's an expert in cults. She was in a cult. I guess she was born into a cult, grew up in a cult, and then she left the cult and joined. I guess she did some time in the army or the service. And she's written some books about cults and studied cults, and she's really good. She's got a lot of great things to say, and I'm gonna play one of her videos. So it's just a short clip. But if you're a Hare Krishna and you're watching this, you need to check her out. You'll learn a lot of stuff from her as far as cults and how cults behave. She says a lot of the same things I say. And she's an expert, so, but she says a lot of things that I say, it says the same thing. So, I'm going to show you a video, and so you should go watch her videos. If you're a Hare Krishna, you should go watch her videos. If you don't know anything about cults, really, you're not a Hare Krishna, you don't know anything about cults, but you just come in, you're like, oh, what is this? You should go check her out, because she can explain a lot of cult behavior that is not just specific to Hare Krishna or Scientology or this or that. She makes it clear that cults are all the same, and that's what I've been saying for the last year as well. It doesn't matter what cult you're in, and it doesn't have to be a religious cult. It can be multi-level marketing schemes. It can be anything can be a cult. So, and then what's not a cult? So anyway, she's really great. She's got a lot of information, a lot of great videos. And, this is a clip of what she has to say. And then I'm going to play a video after this and kind of show you exactly what she's talking about as far as how it pertains to the Hare Krishnas. So let's see what she has to say here. Oh, what do we got here? We got, Afila, hey, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for joining in today. Check out this video. Okay, let's see what she says. See if I can get this going here.
This is something that we see very often in cults, which is not necessarily a uniform, but a uniform appearance. Members, over time, sometimes they realize it, like when you join the army and you immediately, your whole look gets changed. Sometimes you don't realize it, often, because it happens a little bit more slowly. But there's this movement toward homogeneity of appearance, because the number one thing you're not supposed to do in a cult or high control system is to stand out. So, of course, we see press secretary, skinny white woman going from here to the MAGA mask. And, we've had very extreme cults like the plastic surgery cult run by Dr. Norman Baker, where literally members would get plastic surgery to look more like the founder, right? But we have this homogeneity of appearance. And this is something very important to note, right? Note how all Mormon women tend to look the same, right? We sometimes get distracted because we'll say, oh, it's not a cult. They don't have a uniform, but it's uniform appearance. And appearance control is a very, very, very important part of cults. Fashion, not frivolous. Oh, and also we're starting to see Mike Johnson wearing orange face. Danielle, a scholar of cults, extreme groups, and extremely bad leadership. I wrote a book called Uncultured about growing up in the Children of God religious cult, going into the cult of the U.S. Army. You can get signed copies from me here if you're lucky enough to be watching this on YouTube. So this is something that...
Okay. So that's what I'm talking about. She's got books. She's written books. She's got her own channel. She's knows a lot of stuff about cults. I recommend you check her out if you want to learn about cults. If you're in the Hare Krishnas and you're watching this because you want to know what I'm talking about the Hare Krishnas, you really should go check her out as well. And now I want to show you a Krishna video, and we'll see what she's talking about. And these type of videos are all over the internet, all over YouTube. If you're into if you're in the Hindu Krishna algorithm, these things pop up all the time. Here we go.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna.
Hare Hare. Hare Rama.
Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna.
Wait,
Hare Hare. Hare Rama.
So as you can see, I don't know, they're all dressed the same, and that's kind of weird in itself. They all got the red shirts and the hat. The women all have the same makeup and face and the same. Everything's the same. So it's definitely a uniform of appearance. It's a, hey, how you doing? Good to see you. I'm glad you came back. There's hundreds of these videos of these women that are all dressed the same, because it's part of the thing is not to have your own identity. If they're all going out in red shirts and a fedora, then you got to wear a red shirt and a fedora, not a blue shirt and a baseball cap or whatever. And like she said, it's not like they don't say when you're going to go out, hey, y'all got to dress the same, but everybody is usually dressed the same. You got a dhoti and a kurta on. And another thing that she says, she has a video about, is how cults want to control. It sounds so crazy. She says how cults want to control your underwear. So we know Mormons have this magic, underwear. And I immediately was thinking, well, Hare Krishnas have this Brahmin underwear. I was thinking, and I remember when I was first hanging around devotees that were actually wearing dhotis and kurtas and telling me how to put on a dhoti, and telling me if you wear karmi underwear, you can see it through, you can tell through the dhoti that you've got, Fruit of the Looms or whatever it is that you're wearing. You can see it through the dhoti because the dhoti is wrapped. It's it's like a robe, but it goes around you, and it gives you like a panty line. It gives you a visible panty line, or in some cases, depending on the fabric of the dhoti, you can actually kind of like see through it and see everything about you can almost read the label of the underwear on a guy if he's wearing that type of underwear. So they have, Hare Krishnas have Brahmin underwear, which is like 16th century Bengali underwear that they wore in a village, which is just a piece of cloth that you tie around your waist, and then you put it on like a loincloth, and it goes up your ass like a thong, goes around your around your genitals and goes up around like a thong, and that's it. So now you can't see anything, like kind of like how women wear thongs under a tight skirt, and then you can't see. There's no visible panty line. It's just there's nothing there. So he was telling me, this devotee was telling me in the same way, not in those words, but you don't want to be the guy walking around the temple with where everyone can see that you're wearing Fruit of the Looms, and that it's low class. It's not uniform, conformity or whatever. Uniform. It's not. You're not being part of the group. And I thought that was interesting because she hit the nail on the head with that. With that, I don't know what other cults have with their underwear requirements, the rules and regulations of other cults, but she did say that the army has checks. And also what it is, like I've been saying this for a long time. The Hare Krishnas, there's so much brainwashing that you self-regulate and you self-conform. So it doesn't necessarily have to be. It doesn't have to be community pressure or even peer pressure. You're reading these books and it's all like a mental manipulation. So that like you want to conform, you want to voluntarily submit and conform because you feel like that's what's going to make you progress on your. It's like a total manipulation. It's like a spiritual blackmail to get you to follow rules and do whatever they say. And if they can get you to control your underwear and control, I mean, it's all about controlling your hair, what you're wearing, if you're wearing karmi clothes or if you're wearing devotional clothes, whether you're wearing neck beads or if you have tilak on, how nice is your tilak? How shaved is your hair? I mean, there's just so much that goes into this uniform conformity. Uniconformity. It's really crazy. So, but she's really good. This knitting cult lady's really good. If you want to learn about cults, go check her out. She has a lot to say as far as that goes. Now, all the shit that I've been saying and what a few other people have been saying, you just go, wow, Mike, this is so much stuff. Gurus falling down and guys getting shot, little girls getting raped, and kids getting molested in the schools, gurus getting their heads chopped off, and it's just like it's like you got to be kidding me. It's like you talk about more stuff that's even. Does that all fit in one cult? That's like 8 cults worth of crap. No, this is just one cult, and this is just in a small 40-year time period or 55-year time period. All this shit. And all the same people are there if they haven't passed away. They're all still there. So it's the same people, same books, same philosophy, or not philosophy, same superstitious beliefs, same teachings, same gurus, same, everything the same. Every single thing is the same. Nothing has changed. Not one bit. Not the people, not the ideas, not the beliefs, nothing. It is the same. They wear the same clothes, they wear the same, everything is the same. Everything is the same. So you go, all of that stuff, guy getting shot, heads chopped, I mean, kids, lawsuits, a huge laundry list of gurus that have been molesting kids. And then another laundry list of gurus that have been protecting these. I mean, it's an overload of stuff. You go, Mike, you can't be serious. You got to be exaggerating. Everything it sounds unbelievable. I mean, you got to be exaggerating at least a little bit. No, I'm not exaggerating, not even one bit. Not even one bit. And so here's this letter somebody wrote recently. Just it must have happened just before these two gurus fell down, because he doesn't mention these two gurus. These two gurus are not mentioned in this letter, but everything else is. Now, I didn't write this letter. This is written by a cult member. This is a cult member themselves explaining just a couple days ago, a week ago or so, what's going on. And so here's the letter, because I'm not making this. Tell you the truth, I couldn't make this shit up. Stephen King couldn't make this shit up. Stephen King, Edgar Allan Poe, H.L. Lovecraft, all these guys, they couldn't make this crap up. They wanted to write a scary-ass novel about child abuse and demon heads eating the moon and gurus getting their heads chopped off and guys getting shot and gurus running off with little kids. First of all, no one would believe it. Can you imagine going to a Hollywood movie studio, and going, hey, I got this great script. It's about this cult. Hey, and it's based on a true story. It's about this cult. And you start naming off all this shit. They would go, first of all, that's a mini series. We can't do that all in like 90 minutes. It's just it's too much. But they would say that no one would believe this. No one would believe it. The public could only take so much, right? Like if you have a movie, and this is one of the rules of a movie, of like Hollywood movies, right? If you have a movie about aliens, the aliens come down and land on the earth, right? You can't add like dinosaurs, like the dinosaurs, or a super. It's like you got to stick with one thing at a time, because the audience will say, okay, I can handle the aliens coming down. I'll go with you with that, or I can handle the dinosaurs coming back and take that. I'm on with you on that. But if you give me a movie that's got aliens come down and then the aliens create the dinosaurs and the dinosaurs come back, and then you're trying to do, and then Captain Marvel flies in, and the audience, it's shown that the audience will start to tune out like that. You got to stick with one or two things, and that's it. You can't start combining elements. You just can't. You can't combine elements. Unless you're doing a comedy or something like that, where you're making fun of the whole genre. But if you're trying to do a serious movie, like a Western, and then you try to throw in some other shit with it, the audience is like, no, I was on you with the cowboys and Indians shit. But when you threw in the space travel guys, there's just no, we're done. So first of all, they would say, look, we're on with you with the gurus that are bogus and misleading people and cheating and taking money and running off with women. But now you want to throw in child abuse and guys getting shot in their van and gurus getting their heads chopped off and who knows what else, all the other stuff that comes along with it. Little kids getting raped behind festivals. We can't handle that. First of all, it's unbelievable. Like, no one would believe that all this shit was going on in one friggin' cult in one 10-year time span or 15-year time span. They wouldn't believe that. The audience wouldn't believe that this cult could continue on bringing in new people, and the cult members wouldn't leave, or what? The audience wouldn't believe it. They go, "There's no way. There's no way this cult doing all this stuff would be. First of all, where's the FBI? Where's the police? How come the people aren't leaving? How come people are joining?" The audience would say, "This is bullshit. This movie doesn't make sense." And the audience would be absolutely right. They'd be absolutely right. They'd say, this movie makes no sense. They say, is this a horror film? Is this a comedy? Is this a fantasy? Like, they're like, what do you want me to believe here? Is this a movie about a spiritual organization that went wrong? Or is this about a mafia masquerading as a spiritual organization? Or is this about crime guys that have joined an organization and now they're like molesting, shooting people? And it's like, what is it? What's the, and like, we don't even know. We don't even know. Say, well, there's bullshit in the books, and then the bullshit brainwashes people, and then they become crazy, and they become either crazy gurus or crazy followers, and we don't know how it happens, but it just kind of kind of symbiotic. I don't know. It happens, and then all this shit goes on, and they protect each other, and they all just go along. No one would understand it. It wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense. So here's a letter from a person in the cult who's describing all this shit. But they're in the cult. Just insanity. They're in it. They're in it, and they're in it, and they're describing the insanity and saying, what is wrong? But they can't leave. They can't just bounce out like I did. Like, I don't need to write a letter. I didn't need to write a letter to the GBC or write a letter to the LA Temple community or write a letter to anybody in the movement. Dear Prabhus, please accept my obey. No, it's like, fuck you, I'm out of here. This is a piece of shit, ruining people's lives, harming children, harming women, men and women, everybody. We always want to talk about the children because the children are they're, defenseless. But everybody's harmed by these guys. There's grown men committing suicide because of the trauma that they've endured in this movement. Trivikram Swami is a victim of this. He's a perpetrator and a victim. They're all perpetrators and victims. Come play Mafia with Stockholm Syndrome. Yeah. It's Mafia, a lot of the Mafia stuff, though, that's actually like families. There's like uncle, whatever, and pops, and your brother's in it, and your cousins are in it, and you're in it, and your mom's in it, and everybody's in it, and it's that's why it's family shit. So that's, this is just people walking off the street, getting a book, walking off, and then blindly, not knowingly, walking into this. And they're in it before they realize, what it is. Like, it's not on day one that you learn that a guy got his head chopped off. And if you don't know anything about it, then you're not expecting that. And it's like, you're in for like a year, you're enjoying it, you're like having a good time, you have no idea there's any bullshit. You're thinking it's real, you're thinking it's like, hey, this is authorized, everything. And all of a sudden it's like, what? There were 11 guys and they got their heads chopped off? One guy got his head chopped off? One guy got shot in a van? What? What are we talking about here? One guy ran off with a little girl? Wait, a bunch of guys ran off with a little girl? Machine guns and prostitution? What? Running drugs? Laguna Beach Temple did what? What happened in Dallas? What's going on? What happened? They don't tell you this shit up front. Because I would imagine, if I just knew a fraction of the shit that I find out, I wouldn't have had anything to do with them. I would have had nothing to do with them at all. But you find a little bit of this shit over time. Well, when I joined, there was no internet, so I had to find this out drip by drip by drip, and it took a long time. But now there's no excuse. You got me. I'm telling you all about it. No, there's no excuse. There's the internet. There's YouTube. You can go on. You can read. You can find out all the stuff. All their literature is online. You can go and read their bullshit online before they even hand it to you. In fact, when you see them in the parking lot and they're trying to sell you a book, you can just go, hey, isn't all your shit online? Can I read that online? Oh, yeah, I guess you could. Yeah, I'll just go home and log in and read it online. What am I buy that shit from you for? Well, that shit's online. What are you doing out here in the parking lot with a box of books? I can just read it online. Fucking bullshit. Anyway, here's this letter. We'll get back to it. Here's this letter from this devotee, and it says, let's see what it says here. So it's dated June 7th, but that's not when it was written. There's no name, so I can't tell you who wrote it. And it was written and given to somebody who then gave it to somebody else who's posting it. So we don't even know who. It says, Dear Prabhus, humble obeisances to you all precious Vaishnavas. A member who attended the recent gala festivals in Vrindavan has written to convey some thoughts. So this is, I don't know who wrote this. Okay, so here's the actual letter. This year, 2025, I attended the 50th anniversary of Sri Krishna Balaram ISKCON Center at Ramanreti, Vrindavan. It was indeed very blissful to be among 3 generations of devotees engaged in spiritual activities. See, the awareness is the cognitive dissonance is astounding. We had all come together to celebrate how Krishna consciousness has spread all over the world in the past half century by the incredible spiritual potency of His divine grace, Srila Prabhupada. Yet among the congregation of blissful bhaktas, the absence of many of the so-called leaders of the Hare Krishna movement was an obvious sore point. While the majority of GBCs and Swamis were a no-show, the devotees in attendance, the ones that the GBC and Swamis consider their rank and filers, were blissfully on their own. This is a great irony because when they die, ISKCON's so-called leaders hanker for their own samadhi tombs in Vrindavan, yet when the opportunity arises for them to come to the Dham alive and in the flesh, they are nowhere to be seen. Here in Vrindavan, there are tombs of past ISKCON gurus that include a vicious child molester, a drunkard, a mundane humanitarian, a pornography addict, and a woman. Oh my goodness, they buried a woman in Vrindavan. Aren't samadhis intended for genuine renunciates? Immoral and fallen... Oh, for genuine... Or has the GBC turned the land of Krishna into a graveyard for their corrupt, immoral, and fallen Shudras? I feel so bad for those born in this movement. Yeah, it's a shame. It really is a shame. Anybody who was born in, even like my daughter, I brought my daughter into it when she was 6 years old, so she really had no say over it. But then when she grew up, when she was like 11, 12, she's like, Dad, I'm done. And I was like, okay, go. I'm not gonna, it's not a big deal. I wasn't. So yeah, I feel, especially the ones that are sent to Gurukula school or sent to India. I feel really, it's a tragedy. It's an absolute tragedy. He says, I made a few inquiries about why so few leaders showed up for the celebration. The answer I receive most often is that they are afraid to face a congregation of elder devotees, their own god brothers and god sisters. Why would these guilt-ridden personalities be afraid of being judged excuse me, by whatever few Prabhupada disciples remain? He says, after all, nearly all of Srila Prabhupada's initiates were basically thrown out of ISKCON by the GBC during their famous Zonophile era. Thousands of them were sent off to die in some forgotten and lonely isolation. Basically, the disciples of that remained in ISKCON had the benefit of some cushy position. The GBC is still chained to a bleak period of ISKCON history when imitation Prabhupads overthrew common sense and claimed to be successor acharyas. There has never been any serious atonement on their part, except for a few flaccid Dear John emails saying, sorry about that, folks. In short, any member of the GBC or any guru or any minister rubber stamped by them remains ball and chain attached to a gurgling cesspool of rotten karma for which there has never been proper prayaschitta by ISKCON leadership. Anyone who joins a gang or criminal organization immediately becomes susceptible to and liable for the group's bad karma. So yes, it is a gang. It is a criminal organization. Absolutely right. That's exactly what it is. The predictable GBC response to their past sins is that still sits like dust under their carpet has always been secrecy and seclusion. They hide themselves away in their regular meetings in fear that the dust they created might make itself known. They are like a secret society that bands behind a smokescreen of joyful sounding interfaith rubbish meant to placate the ignorant public and keep genuine thinkers at bay. I agree with almost all of this going on. Disinformation is the function of their blubbering old mouthpiece Rukmini's husband Anuttama Das and their smoke and mirrors website ISKCON News. Meanwhile, dozens of encyclopedic volumes, films, and television shows written not only by disenfranchised devotees, but also by scholars have emerged explaining in no-couch terms the real function of GBC cohorts in hiding crimes. Prabhupada repeatedly mentioned that after the disappearance of the Acharya, many malicious predators appear who throw his sacred works into chaos. Dressed in the finery of a Paramahamsa, Kali himself invades and pollutes the holy atmosphere that the bona fide spiritual master created with his blood, sweat, and tears. Okay, so this goes on and on. So if this happens when the Acharya disappears, what's the point of him appearing? If after he appears, chaos comes, ruin his movement and pollute his books, throw his sacred works, what does it say, quote, throw his sacred works into chaos, and Kali himself invades and pollutes the holy atmosphere that the bona fide spiritual man, well, then why? What's the point? And who said, it probably didn't say all of that. But anyway, but Prabhupada did say that there's a great sinister movement within my movement, which probably meant that Prabhupada knew that these guys were full of shit because Prabhupada probably overheard them talking, or he most likely overheard them talking about stuff. He wasn't an idiot by any means. Prabhupada wasn't stupid. In fact, he was very sophisticatedly shrewd. All cult leaders are. He was very shrewd. He had instinct. He had intuition. Prabhupada was very on the ball when it comes to creating this cult that he wanted to do, writing his books and getting people to work for him. Prabhupada could never have written all of those books if he hadn't convinced all these people to do all this bullshit for him. So Prabhupada was very definitely one of these guys that could do that. He was definitely like a psychopathic cult leader who could manipulate people into doing things for them. I mean, there's salespeople that can go out and manipulate people into buying shit they don't want, buy an aluminum siding or buy a used car, buy whatever. Just because you can manipulate someone and you have some charisma and you can manipulate someone and charm them into making bad decisions, conning them. Con artists con people all the time. People get swindled out of their house, swindled out of their savings, swindled out of their life's savings, swindled out of this and that. Happens all the time. Prabhupada was one of these guys that could swindle people, fast talk, do whatever. He wasn't an idiot. He wasn't stupid. That's one thing he wasn't. So these guys, these Tamal Krishnas, they weren't nearly on the ball as Srila Prabhupada was. Compared to Prabhupada, they're complete doofuses when it comes to being a cult leader, running a worldwide organization that's built to scam people. They were just holding on for the ride. They were just scum of the earth douchebags that were, I'm going to glom onto this Indian guy because he's obviously got something going. But they weren't smart. So once he figured out that, hey, they're trying to push Prabhupada out or doing any shady shit that they're doing, selling drugs or breaking the rules or dressing up as gopis, reading his books, pretending like they're Lord Chaitanya, dressing up like gopis. He found out about it, and he knew that shit was going on. Plus, he had a lot of people coming to him and telling him what was going on. So he probably wasn't stupid. He knew these guys, that these guys were like shady, and he made them gurus anyway. And the other thing this guy says is that this is I went to Vrindavan. It was such a successful worldwide organization. I already went through that in my last show. Worldwide organization. Don't feed me that bullshit. You got 25 people in London and 10 people in Paris, 25 people, and then you just count all the Hindus, and then you want to say, well, we have this whole worldwide organization. You don't even have that many people in Vrindavan. Full-time devotees that live in the temple. Vrindavan is a very deceiving place because the whole village looks like a Hare Krishna temple. So how do you count? These guys are full of shit. There's no world. It's worldwide because you got a house in friggin'. You got a center in Florida that has 20 people in it, and you got a temple in L.A. that has 25 people in it, and a temple in San Francisco, and a temple in Chicago, and a temple but all those people combined together, what do you got? 25,000 people tops? Full time? Yeah, that's bullshit. So he goes on and he says, so the leaders didn't go. He's talking about, the other thing he mentioned is he mentions all these crimes, okay? He says disinformation, videos and films explaining all the crimes and cohorts and hiding crimes. What crimes is he talking about? I know of a few: murder, money laundering, human trafficking, child abuse, child rape, child marriage. Although I don't know if that's a crime, but ethically and morally it's reprehensible. But he's talking about. So this guy's talking about how horrible these people are, but he's not mentioning anything that they've really done. Anyone who joins a gang or criminal organization. Well, what's so bad about? I know what's so bad about it, but he's not speaking out about what's so bad. He says, "Oh, one was this and one was that." But it just sounds like there's a lot of shit on this guy's mind that's pissing him off about this, but he's not saying it. He's not saying what it is. He says they got bad karma, criminal organization, rubbish, and a smoke screen. What's the smoke screen covering up? If there's a smoke screen, what's behind it? He doesn't say. He won't say. He says, what's the disinformation? He says, Prabhupada has repeatedly mentioned that after the disappearance of the Acharya, malicious predators appear through his sacred works into chaos. So what's the chaos? Is it these gurus falling down? Is it, what is it? What's going on? What? Then once they are ensconced in a smoky aura of presumed sanctity, Kali and his sinister agents proceed to make a mockery out of true devotional service by funneling the worship intended for the Guru Parampara onto themselves. But I mean, all through history, there's always somebody getting worshipped. That doesn't make sense. But anyway, predators. Okay, so he says predators' free enjoyment with the unfortunate rank and file has paid for takes the form of illicit. Okay, now we get to it. Illicit sexual intercourse, gold watches, luxury apartments, bungalows, health retreats, rich cuisine, free servants who carry out his every wish, exploitive behavior which has been displayed so openly and with such predictable frequency by ISKCON's callous GBC and their zombified following. Well, let me tell you, if you're celebrating ISKCON's 50th thing in Vrindavan at the Krishna Balaram Temple in the year 2025, then you also are a zombified follower. You can't say, look at all these zombified followers in ISKCON while you're in ISKCON at the Krishna Balaram Temple celebrating the 50th anniversary of the ISKCON Krishna Balaram Temple. You can't, you don't get this, what you're saying is, I'm one of them. I'm one of them too. But he doesn't see it that way. What are you doing there? If this place is so bad, what are you doing there? However, becoming a member of ISKCON should not mean that an innocent seeker should become a servile victim of Stockholm Syndrome. Well, that's exactly what it means. And that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what happens. You yourself are a Stockholm Syndrome. You're experiencing Stockholm Syndrome. You're at the Krishna Balaram Temple in Vrindavan at the 50th anniversary festival, talking about how blissful it is, talking about how great it was to see all these devotees and then they were in transcendental bliss. You're glorifying this whole thing and then turn around and talking shit about it at the same time. I was at the Krishna Balaram Temple for the 50th anniversary of Prabhupada's wonderful, glorious ISKCON. And let me tell you how fucked up ISKCON is. But I love it because it's Prabhupada's transcendental movement. But man, it sucks. Murders, crime, it's like joining a gang. cover-ups, child molestation, human trafficking, all this horrible stuff, and they bury their bogus gurus in the holy dam. It's just a graveyard for degenerates now. But hey, I had a great time at the temple. Man, it was so blissful. Transcendental. It was transcendental, Prabhu. Absolutely transcendental. We were glorifying all of these guys. We were singing prayers, dancing around Prabhupada's samadhi. Because, you know, he created this whole fucked up thing. So we had to glorify him, because without him, we wouldn't have all these fucked up gurus and child molesters and all this crap. It's all because of Prabhupada's mercy that we have all of this fucked up bullshit we got to deal with. And suicides, and lawsuits, and molestations, decapitated gurus. But man, it was so much fun. It was so much fun. I had a great time. So he goes on, he says, hence ISKCON's leadership chose to hide out in their private castles rather than face the sidelong glances of disgust from their peers. Probably. I mean, yeah. But what were you doing there? If it's so horrible, and these people are so horrible, why are you part of it? Why are you part of it? Okay, it says, it seems that the leaders of today's ISKCON would prefer to show their faces at their church-like social events they call sadhu sanghas, where they can exert some control. At such parties, ISKCON's gurus know they will get the worship they crave, from their automatons, because expensive tickets are sold at the door. Well, first of all, you know, if these leaders of ISKCON want to go to the Krishna Balaram temple in Vrindavan and go, they go. They don't get. They're not they don't care. I've seen plenty of these jerk offs at the Krishna Balaram temple. It seems like every time I've been to Vrindavan, there's been somebody there. I don't think they're afraid of anything. I don't think they're afraid of anything. I think they're just too lazy. They're too lazy, they're too bored, they're too fat, they're too whatever. I don't give a shit. Why do they gotta go? Why do I gotta go? Veerabahu. I've never seen him at the temple in LA. The 20 years that I was there, I didn't even know the guy. I didn't even know the man existed. I never knew the man existed until someone said, well, Veerabahu. And I'm like, Veerabahu? Yeah, Veerabahu. The guru. He lives right there. I was like, what are you talking about? Yeah, I'd never seen him. I'd never seen him at the temple. I mean, I'm sure he went and I just wasn't there. But I mean, like a coincidence that the one day I wasn't there was the day he went. I never saw him. He never went Mangalarti. He never went to Guru Puja. He was never there. He was in his apartment or he was traveling. That's why they say, oh, worldwide organization. We've got all these devotees. Go to the LA temple for Mangalarti at 4:30 in the morning when everyone's supposed to be there and count how many people are there. And that's how many devotees are at the temple. 10. 10. Because LA is a city of 7 million people. 7 million people in LA. LA is one of the biggest biggest communities. a lot of people living in the community. How many people go to Mangalartik in the morning? That tell you how many people are seriously into their Krishna consciousness. Who's at the temple at 4:30 in the morning? What do you got, 10? 15? Shit, you can just go on YouTube and watch. They have these webcams in their temple rooms. Go look at the Dallas Temple Mangalartik webcam. They got like 10 people in there, 5 people in there. Alachua, Florida, 10 people, 15 people. They don't even go to their own. They don't even go to their own functions. They don't give a shit about that, but they're so Stockholm syndrome out that there's no life outside the temple. He goes on. He says, at the Krishna Balaram, I'm not reading the whole thing, but he says, at the Krishna Balaram 50th festival, as I chanted my daily quota of rounds at Srila Prabhupada's Samadhi, it was almost as if I could hear the thoughts of his divine grace emanating from the shrine. So these are some of the thoughts that went through his head while he was standing at Srila Prabhupada's Samadhi. He says, how could the GBC have allowed illegal changes to the books? That's the first one. Not how did all these children get molested in Prabhupada's school? And why did Prabhupada put these degenerates in charge of the school? And why did Prabhupada make Kirtanananda a guru and Bhavananda and Jayatirtha and Harikesh and Rameshwar? Why did he pick those guys? He didn't ask that question. Why did Prabhupada have sex with an 11-year-old girl when he was 22 years old? He doesn't ask that question. He wants to know about the illegal book changes to the books. And how could they have spent millions of dollars to hide the original list of Srila Prabhupada as their work for hire after changing the BBT from a trust to a corporation? That's what's on his mind. Not, why do they cover up Lokanath Swami molesting that girl? How come they don't report crimes to the police? How come these gurus get away with more? Why did that temple president in India, in Patna, India, why did he molest all those kids? And why Purushottam Swami, why is he lecturing in Florida to a bunch of little kids when he is accused, his temple, there were 18 boys that were molested, 9 of them were underage, and he didn't do anything, and he didn't report it. Why aren't these questions at the top of this fucking list? Why are we talking about book changes? How could men who pose as acharyas become rapists of children? Okay, now we get to it. Rapists of children as soon as no one was looking. And even after the guru and Swami pedophiles bankrupt ISKCON in the Turley lawsuit, how is it that child molestation was still allowed to continue in ISKCON Gurukulas for decades? Yes. Took you a while to get there, but yeah. How is it that thousands of worthy preacher disciples were kicked out of the ashrams after they'd given up their very lives to the spiritual master? Why were so many devotees either removed, beaten, or even killed to keep them from exposing the truth about the GBC corruption? Yes. Now we're going to go back to the books again. Why was Prajumna Pandit removed as the translator of the ongoing Bhagavatam project in favor of a bag of hot wind who thinks he's a holy teacher with a college degree? When will the millionaire swamis give up their huge bank balances and learn to rely on Krishna alone? Why is the GBC allowing Kali Yuga Mayavadi swamis to be glorified in books written by a GBC member? Do not Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam have enough information? Here's one. When will ISKCON's overly agreeable swamis stop initiating Hindu professionals who flatter them and who purchase their initiations with large bribes? When will ISKCON swamis insist that their Hindu initiates should know the ABCs about preaching to everyone they meet instead of merely inviting other Hindus for dinner in a ruse of bhakti vriksha? So this is another thing that that ISKCON devotees want to. They look down on the Hindus. They look down on Indians, and they feel like Indians don't know enough about Hare Krishna, so that they have to be taught about Hare Krishna and Hinduism from them. Oh, excuse me. And it's very racist what they do with the Indians, the white Hare Krishnas, their attitude towards Hindus. It's disgusting, really. I'm going to be honest with you. It's really disgusting. I've been to Vrindavan, I don't know how many times, like 15 times in the last 30 years. Been there like 15 times, like, and thanks, bless you, thank you. It's crazy to think most ISKCON temples in the U.S. are also emptier and emptier. They're very empty. There's no one there. So this whole idea that it's a worldwide organization is complete bullshit. It's complete bullshit. But anyway, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, so anyway, they're very racist towards Indians. They think that they're the ones that need to teach the Indians how to preach, how to be, how to put on a dhoti, how to put on tila, all that stuff. In fact, I think I showed a video where Hare Krishnas have a how to preach to the Indians video, like how to sell them a book, how to preach Hare Krishna to the Indians, because they just have a very low opinion of Hindus and Indians, especially in America and in India. It's horrible. Where'd we go? Okay. So he goes on. He lists a few more these grievances. Like, when will the GBC stop wholesaling the Hare Krishna movement as a Hindu organization in order to attract cheap followers along with their donations? See, that's how they think of Hindus, as they're cheap devotees who just give donations. They're not real devotees. So he lists all these grievances of ISKCON. The worst ones are buried in the middle, but he does mention the murder and the crimes and the child molestation. He does mention all that stuff. That is on his mind. He does know about it. They do know about this stuff. But he doesn't care that he doesn't care enough to leave. He doesn't care enough to go, I don't want anything to do with this. Go home and chant. No, what's the point of that? I want to go to the temple and have kirtan and be and this and that, and I can't do that because there's a bunch of criminals there, and this is a criminal organization. But I still want to do what the criminal organization does. I just don't want to be hanging around these criminals. I want to pass out their criminal literature. I want to hang out with them. But there's too much crime for me to hang out with these other. It's insanity. Okay, it's absolute insanity. So he says. So he finishes up and he says, in short, although I found the 50th anniversary celebration at ISKCON Vrindavan blissful, I have returned home sadder but wiser, since it is well known that ISKCON's GBC members clandestinely read the messages from the something. I am hoping that they will consider these thoughts and bring the society they pretend to lead back on track again, because an objective look at ISKCON management reveals a cesspool of corruption. A cesspool of corruption. And then he finishes it out. He says, your servant, name withheld for safety reasons. So, and I don't think anything was said so bad in this letter that he has to withhold his name for safety reasons. But he doesn't want his name to be known. He wants his message out, but he doesn't want anyone to know who it is. But at least he's speaking up. But it's just so much cognitive dissonance and just so much denial and Stockholm syndrome that it's insanity. It is absolute insanity. I reckon it's fear which keeps him within this organization, fear to face life outside among non-devotees. I believe that is if there was a pie chart of why people stay in, that would be a good chunk of the pie, is peer pressure. They don't want to get a karmi job. They don't want to go out and be among non-devotees. They are afraid. A lot of them have no skills. I mean, I lost 20 years I lost 20 years. That was 20 years of, that's a career. That's a career in something. If you're a musician and you're able to have a career that spans 20 years, 2 decades, that's pretty good. Selling albums, touring. If you're on TV and you have a sitcom or you're writing for a sitcom and you're able to go from sitcom to 20 years, that's a good stretch. A talk show, you're on a talk show, hosting a talk show. Arsenio didn't last 20 years. If you're writing books for 20 years, you have a 20-year career doing something. A chef in a restaurant. You have a restaurant that stays open and is successful for 20 years, for 2 decades. You do anything for 20 years successfully, that's an achievement. 20 years is a long time. Just, you have a laundromat. It's been open for 20. Had this laundromat for 20 years. Shit comes and goes all the time, right? You do anything for 20 years. Hey, Mike, you don't like ISKCON, right? Well, neither does the Sangha you keep coming to criticize. Okay. All right. I'm not criticizing your Sangha. I asked you a question if you believe in what Prabhupada says in his books. And why would I join your Sangha? All I hear is bitching and complaining. Yeah, I'm bitching and complaining, dude. What the fuck? I'm bitching and complaining. I'm bitching and complaining because it's a criminal organization and it's dangerous. Everyone's in danger in that organization. Women, children, causes mental illness. So what the fuck? Why would I want to go join your fucking Sangha? You're reading those books and chanting? The fuck is that? You can take that fucking chanting and your beads and your tilak and all that crap and shove it up your ass. I don't want nothing to do with it. So just fuck all the way off. All I hear is bitching and complaining. Yeah, and that's all you're going to fucking hear. So you can take your fucking Bhagavad Gita and your beads and you shove it up your fucking ass. Oh, fuck you in your conversation. I'm having a conversation now. What more do you want to know? What more do you fucking want to know? Why should I join your fucking piece of shit Sangha? You're all sitting around chanting that bullshit. Why? Why would I do that? Why the fuck would I do that? Why would I join your fucking thing? You know what? You're hearing what I'm saying? Take what I'm saying back to your fucking Sangha and repeat it to them. Okay? That's what you can do. What the fuck? The problem is people like you who think you can be Krishna consciousness outside of ISKCON, reading Prabhupada's books and spreading all that dangerous crap. If you knew how dangerous it was, if you had a realization of what the fuck you're really doing, you'd have nothing to do with it. What the fuck, man? What does my green hair have to do with anything? You don't want to face the truth about you reading Prabhupada's books and believing all the crap that he says about little girls and gopis and all of that crap? And Krishna having sex with 11-year-old girls down by the river? And gurus can tell people to go put bullets in people's heads and Vaishnav aparad and all that bullshit that you believe? The fuck? And you want to talk about green hair? You want to talk about green hair while little kids are being molested in your fucking, whatever you fucking want to call it, your fucking cult? God damn, man. So for all you non-Hare Krishnas out there, you can see how fucking insane these people are. This guy comes into my chat, he wants me to go join his group of fucking mental patients. Because they don't like ISKCON. So he thinks I'm on their side. Because they're chanting Hare Krishna. What the fuck? Dude, I don't care. You're reading Prabhupada's books. You're chanting his fucking mantra and all that other shit. What makes you different? What makes you different? The green hair. Now you're back to the green hair again. Stay on topic, dude. I know it's hard for you because you're a Hare Krishna, but stay on topic. Stay on topic, dude. I know it's hard for you. I know it's hard, but stay on topic. You read Prabhupada's books. You believe the shit in Prabhupada's books. That's the point. I don't care about anything else. You're sitting there chanting. You got tilak on your fucking head. You got kunti beads around your neck. You're chanting Maha Mantra. You're worshiping Lord Chaitanya. You got these fucking stupid Indian Krishna names. And you want me to join your fucking insanity? What the fuck is wrong with you? And you think you're different? You think you're different from ISKCON because you say, oh, we're different than ISKCON? Take all your bullshit, shove it up your ass, man. I don't give a fuck. Fucking crazy ass people, man. They think, these cult people think that like their cult tactics are going to work on someone who's not in their cult. Like they can shame me or hurt me in some way. No, I was in the chat room and I saw what was going on. What the fuck are you talking about? Don't try to fucking gaslight me. Fucking Indian lady sitting right there with tilak on, chanting Hare Krishna, and the other guy's name, his room name is Gauranga Das. The only Gauranga Das, and he was not an Indian guy. Don't try to gaslight me or gaslight anybody. I'm not the idiot you think I am. I'm not the guy that walked off the street that you think I am. I'm a fucking idiot, man. I know you believe in God, but you're going to be fuck. Shut up. It has nothing to do with anything. And it doesn't matter. You guys are fucking insane Krishnas. this is great for everyone out there who's watching how these Krishnas act, how they're fucking mentally ill. They don't want to. No one is required to wear anything special. No, you do it. You're not required. You do it because you're brainwashed. You do it because you're brainwashed into doing it, and you think that it's got special powers. No one, you're not required to put on tilak in the morning, but everyone does it in ISKCON. Everyone does it in Narayan Maharaj. Are you a Narayan Maharaj follower? Are you Narayan Maharaj? Are you Gaudiya Math? Let me ask you this. I'm going to ask you this. You want me to join your Sangha, come into your group? Tell me who your guru is. I'm not going to join any association until I know who your guru is. Well, who's your guru? Who's your authority? Who's telling you to get together and have that little group? Nope. Who's your guru? I'll tell you who my guru is. You tell me who your guru is. So you don't want to do it. Nope, don't want to do it. They don't want to give it away. They don't want to give the name of the scammer and cheater Gora Hari Das. Oh my God, that guy. Gora Hari Das. Like you wouldn't think I know that guy. Like you wouldn't think I would know who he is. Another fucking scamming, cheating ass. Hey, everybody out there, if you come across some guy named Gora Hari Das, this guy's a self-proclaimed guru. He thinks he's a guru. I don't know if he was a Prabhupada disciple. I think he was a Prabhupada disciple, but he's like broken off. He's doing his own thing. Go to Vrindavana. Like, you think I haven't been there? Who is Gora Hari Das? Gora Hari Das is this freak. I think he was a Prabhupada disciple. He was either a Prabhupada disciple or he's a like Narayan Maharaj disciple. He's not ISKCON. He's definitely not ISKCON. But he's a fucking Hare Krishna freak. Thinks he's a Swami. Thinks he's a guru. Thinks he's going to give you some special information. Is going to go directly into your head because you follow his rules and you follow him. And if he says to chant 8 rounds, then you can chant. If he says don't chant, you don't even have to chant. I don't know what Gora Hari Das teaches, what he preaches, because he's just a scammer cheater. Why would I like Siddha Sarupananda and Tulsi Gabbard, same freaks? Yeah, I know who Gora Hari Das is. It's the same crap. He was a Prabhupada disciple or some disciple of some guru. And then he said, I'm going to do my own thing. I met some of his disciples years ago in Vrindavan. And they were like, they went to the Krishna temple, but they didn't follow any rules. They didn't chant. They didn't have beads. But they were followers of Gora Hari Das. And they were like, yeah, Gora, we follow Gora Hari Das. And I was like, who's that? And they were like, like, oh yeah, he's really cool. He's this and that. And I was like, sounds like a scammer to me. And they were like, yeah, he's pretty cool, man. We don't need to do anything, whatever. And I was like, oh God. This is when I was in ISKCON. I was in ISKCON at that time. And I was like, oh God, you're following this Gora Hari Das guy? Ugh. So that says it all right there. He's just another fucking freak. He's another Krishna cult freak. This is the same kind of cult freak I'm telling you, like, stay away from. He doesn't have any disciples in Vrindavan. So he has disciples at other places. I don't care. If he thinks he's special enough to have disciples, run the fuck away from him. You don't want anything to do with people like this. People like this Gora Hari Das, you don't want anything to do with him. What's he going to do for you? What's he doing for you? What is he doing for you? Oh, he's going to give me another stage. He's going to take me to another stage of love of God. Do I still have faith in God? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. What does that have to do with anything? I'm not talking about God. This isn't even a discussion about God. This is a discussion about your fucking cult. Your Goriha scamming guru, Gori Haridas scamming guru, and people like him. Like Trivikram falls down at 83 years old. Like, you think that Gori Haridas is some special person? You think Gori Haridas is some, like, he's going to teach you something? That's the funniest shit I've heard, I don't know in how long. You think Gori Haridas is like, he's like got some special insight, some special knowledge, some special realization? He knows something that no one else knows. And he can give it to you, Prabhu. He can help you in your spiritual journey, Prabhu. You just have to look inside and cleanse your heart. Oh, Gora Haridas provides a safe space where people can show their ecstatic devotion without judgment. The fuck does that mean? What is ecstatic devotion? Ecstatic devotion to what? And to who? And why? The fuck does that mean? A safe space. So are there's dangerous spaces where that if you show your ecstatic devotion, it's dangerous? Where is that? Where is that? Is it because the ecstatic devotion is dangerous, or is it I had ecstatic devotion to God before ever coming in contact with Gauri Haridas? Okay, so you were a mental patient before you met him, and now you're even worse off. I got it. I believe it. I totally believe it. Because anyone who thinks that they have some ecstatic devotion to God is in a fantasy world. You're living in a fantasy world. That's like me saying I have ecstatic devotion to Taylor Swift, or I have ecstatic devotion to Donald Trump, or I have ecstatic devotion to whatever. That's insane. It's insane. And this guy helps you get that ecstatic devotion. That's even crazier. That's even crazier. You're as crazy as this guy. You're just as crazy. Look what happened with the Latin American. The guru was pinned down for cigarette and all this time. Turned against him. He stole money from them and cheated him. Yes, I know exactly who you're talking about. You're talking about, he also, former Prabhupada disciple. What was his name? I don't remember the name, but I know who you're talking about. Big preacher in South America. Big preacher for many, many years. And then, whoop. As long as they preach this nonsense, they are all criminals. Absolutely. They're causing harm. I mean, look at how harmful this guy is. This guy is so harmful that he doesn't even know. He thinks when one laughs and cries while loving and glorifying God, then they are usually seen as crazy. Yeah, because you are crazy. Yeah, that's him. Paramadwaiti. Yep, that's the guy. That's the guy. They're all the same. They're all the same. Guru Haridas is just another cheater. He just figured out his way of getting a piece of the pie, of the Prabhupada pie. That's it. They don't eat meat, but hurt other humans for life. It's not a joke. You know, absolutely. Oh, we don't harm animals. We just harm women, children, and men. We're very compassionate when it comes to animals. We don't eat them. But we put them through the grinder. We put them through the meat grinder. But animals, we're very, very nice to animals, especially cows. But people, not so much. We don't give a shit about people, especially women. Women, we don't give a fuck about women. This PTSD is very hard, very hard to live with. It is. And they don't realize it till they come out of it because they're in this brainwashed fog. And everything's fine while they're in that fog. It's like this self-induced psychosis. They don't want to come out of it. Remember, if we had that pie chart, peer pressure keeps them in, and the psychosis that there's no life outside. That's why it's a mental prison. And people who haven't experienced it, they don't understand it. Maybe if you've lived through a childhood where you've had some abusive parents and they manipulate you and they use guilt and different techniques to really traumatize you growing up. I didn't have that. But my mom definitely did some stuff. I mean, she didn't torture me or abuse me. But guilt you into stuff and manipulate you into stuff, whatever. My mom's manipulating and doing all this stuff. That was harmless stuff. Harmless stuff. But you can have parents that really are evil and can manipulate you and guilt you and do real harm. And cults do the same thing. And it's all going on up here. It's all going on up here. And because it's all up here, people like this guy doesn't know. He's in this Gorahari cult. He's in a Gorahari cult, but he doesn't realize it. He's like, no, I'm not. We're different. Gorahari's different because he sees what's wrong with he agrees with what you're saying, Mike. He sees what's wrong, but yet he still wants to be a 15th century Bengali transsexual. He still believes in the gopis. He still believes in 11-year-old gopis. He still believes in all that stuff. The brainwashing techniques, the manipulation, all of that. And you can tell because the follower, this guy, has no clue. No clue that he's up to here in this quicksand of manipulation. Has God ever so deeply touched your heart and soul that it brings you to tears? Well, if it did, it would be in a delusional state because there's no way of proving or evidence that God can create tears. That again is all up in your head. It's your brain that's creating the tears. It's your own mental state of mind, sadness or whatever. A loved one can bring you to tears. The death of a loved one can bring you to tears. Seeing the joy of a loved one can bring you to tears. There's a lot of things that can bring you to tears. There's a lot of tears of joy, sadness, anger. The presence of tears is not evidence of anything that has to do with God. So that's totally it doesn't the presence of tears doesn't have anything to do with God. You can say it was God. You can say, "Oh my God, it was." Like, what do you do? You look at a flower and you tear up because it's so beautiful, and then you go, "Well, God did it." I mean, what are you trying to say? This makes no sense. I met the illest of people in this movement. The medicine they are taking is obviously not working. This chant and be happy is a bunch of BS. Absolutely. Absolutely. Every day you can see it. You can see it every day. You can see it in these gurus. How can an 83-year-old guru fall down and have sex with one of his disciples if even a fraction of what they say is real? Whatever. I don't. You can post whatever you want here. I really don't care. because it's all a bunch of bullshit. It doesn't matter. The longer they've been practicing, the most demoniac they are. Sometimes I think that these people were demons in their past. Okay, so you bring up a good point. And that's why I say, I've said it from the beginning, and I'll say it forever. Fake renunciation. I'll say it forever. Cults cause mental illness, just like this guy. He's just like, he's keeps going on, and that's okay. I don't care. Cults cause mental illness. Normal people, like this guy, was probably normal at one day. One day he was probably just a normal person, but he got a hold of a book and he started talking to these Hare Krishna freaks, and now look at him. Thinks people are demons. He thinks this Gorahari guy has got some kind of special knowledge, and somehow this Gorahari is creating a safe space where people can exhibit their delusional transcendental ecstasy without judgment. Like, that's like, I don't even know what that means, because people can show their ecstasy wherever they are. It doesn't matter. This guy he's so delusional. He's just like, he wants to know if I believe in God, if I'm this, I'm that, which has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. I was never normal. Yeah, probably not. I don't know. Not you guys, but the people I came across, unfortunately. They're all the same. All these Hare Krishna cults are the same. And that's why I put on my video, my thumbnail, Krishna cults. Perfect example. Krishna cults. It's not ISKCON, only ISKCON. It's Krishna cults. It's Narayan Maharaj. It's Gorahari Das. It's Self-Realization Foundation, or that other one. Not Paramahamsa Yogananda, whatever it is. I'm talking about Siddha Sarup, Chris Butler, and Adwaiti, and all of these guys. And now Narayan Maharaj has got that whole cult going on. Any of these cults that's reading Prabhupada's books, pushing this living guru or guru, pure devotee guru bullshit, and transcendental bliss and transcendental this and love of Radha and Krishna, and oh God, some more of this stuff. And I feel sorry for you. Don't feel sorry for me. I'm not gonna fall for your bullshit. And I feel sorry for you, Mike. You've been hurt. Something happened to you in ISKCON, and I feel sorry. I love you, Mike. I want you to know that I love you. And it's like love bombing. So we're going to go back to the cult tactics again. Love bombing, telling me how much he loves me. Telling me that I'm special or I'm intelligent, or that I feel sorry for you, that you went through these horrible things, and ISKCON is horrible, and it's trying to get me on their side. And it's like I'm standing in the Costco parking lot and this guy's trying to shove a book in my face. This is the same shit that you would hear if you were in a Costco parking lot, or the DMV, or anywhere at a concert, and this guy walked up to you with a book, with a Gorahari book or a Prabhupada book, and he's talking to you, and he's like, hey, I love you, man. Take this book. It's about peace and love. Hey, you like John Lennon, man? Hey, it's just a great sangha, and you know what? You're so fortunate that you got this book, and all that bullshit. He's coming into my chat and wants to do book distribution. See, it's total love bombing. I love you. You don't need to believe me in order for me to love you. because I love you because you're a person, and I love you too, Andromeda. Oh, we're all in a sangha together, and we just love bomb each other to death, which is what cults do. They love bomb you. But then when you sit there and you go, well, your guru's full of shit, and then I ain't gonna love bomb you no more. They don't want you. They don't want you in their sangha. If you're not, I love you, Mike Sandoval. Oh, I love you, Mike Sandoval. I see your soul. Oh, there's so much love bombing going on. So much love bombing going on. Oh, look, I'm gonna put little heart love emojis because I'm trying to brainwash you, and I'm trying to love bomb you and get on your good side so you won't be such an asshole and tell me to fuck off with your bullshit. God damn. This is fucking stupid. Fucking, just like a Hare Krishna in the parking lot. They won't fucking leave you alone. They won't fucking leave you alone. This guy won't leave me alone.
Could override Prabhupada's ideas and instructions. So again, this made me very skeptical of the leadership. Why are these people so motivated that they're challenging Prabhupada's ideas and Prabhupada's process? So it was a good learning experience for me because I was seeing more and more that these leaders have got problems. And the number one problem is they are motivated for position. So these were good lessons for me because later on I felt
okay, so like what Paranjan's talking about, these guys are just motivated. They want a position, which is what Guru wants. Guru wants to be on God's frequency so he can teach you how to be on God's frequency. Guru is such a cheater. Guru is on God's frequency. I've tested him, and he always comes up to it, whether you believe it or not. Know my truth. Spoken like a great cult member. This is exactly how cult members talk. So for all you people out there who are watching that are not cult members, this is the perfect, I couldn't have asked for a better example of how these brainwashed cult members think. Because now this guy's a living, breathing example of what I've been talking about. And let me put this back up there again so you can see what he says. The Guru Hare is on God's frequency. So he wants to convince me that Guru Hare is this special person. He's different than everybody else. He's a guru. He's on God's frequency. He's not on he's not normal. He's just on another level. He's on God's frequency. He's not on our frequency. He's on God's frequency, man. He's talking to God. And not only that, but this Gary Singh guy, he's tested him. He knows. He knows for a fact that Guru Hare is on God's frequency. And he's tested him, and he always passes the test, man. Mike, why don't you get it? I know you don't believe me, but I know I'm Gary, and I know my truth. This is typical cult. He wants me to believe him, that this guy is on God's frequency. Not for any reason that I can see, but because he believes it. He wants me to change my life and follow this Guru Hare Das guy. Not because of anything that I can see, but because Gary can see it. And I need to believe Gary. It's important for me to believe Gary. Because Gary knows. And how does Gary know? Because Gaura Hari told him, I'm on God's frequency. So we just have to accept Gaura Hari Das through Gary Singh. I have to accept Gary Singh is right. That Gaura Hari is right. How fucking crazy is that? He just comes into my chat and says, you got to believe me. Gaura Hari is on another frequency. He talks to God. He talks to Krishna. He talks to God. He can give me a safe space where I can exhibit my devotional ecstasies without judgment. That's because Gaura Hari, well, he's just great like that. He's just such a great guy. He's so selfless that he's willing to give me a safe space where I can go and exhibit my devotional ecstasies. This is so wonderful. Which is why you need to come and have a conversation. Like, I'm going to go have a conversation with you fucking nuts. What are you going to do? You're going to tell me, what's Gaura Hari Das going to tell you? Is he going to tell me how the demon head is eating the moon during the eclipse? If you can't converse, then you're bound for... Dude, I'm talking right now, dude. What is Gaura Hari going to... What is your Gaura Hari Das going to tell me? He's going to tell me how there's a... First of all, Gaura Hari Das doesn't know anything that I don't know. What the fuck you think he knows that I don't know? What makes you think he knows more about Krishna than I do? Gary Singh, you've been gaslighting Andromeda and I by twisting words consistently, and you want us to believe you. I don't want you to believe me. I want you to do your own fucking research. You don't have to believe me. Believe reality. Believe reality. You don't think that Jayatirtha got his head chopped off because he was screwing around with another guy's wife? You don't think Trivikram just fell down having sex with 83 years old, having sex with some girl? You don't think all these kids sued ISKCON for $400 million for sexual abuse? That's not me. What the fuck? That's not me. I'm not gaslighting anybody with that. That's real shit. And if you don't believe it, that's your fucking delusion. You don't believe Slochan had 2 bullets put in his head? What the fuck is wrong with you? You don't know that kids are being molested in India right now? Kids are being molested all over. The fuck you talking about gaslighting? If you really care about people, you would come and discuss. You know what? You tell fucking Gaura Hari Das to come into my chat and I'll talk to him. He wants to come in here and talk to me, I'll talk to him in here. I ain't fucking afraid of him. I ain't afraid of you, and I ain't afraid of him, and I ain't afraid of any of you fucking freaks. You can just go fuck off for all I care. The fuck? Hey, tell him to come in here. He can come in here. He's got a computer. Come in here. And he can tell me, whether he reads Prabhupada's books and he believes in all this shit in Prabhupada's books. Because if you're not reading Prabhupada's books, what are you doing? Why are you chanting Hare Krishna? Why would anybody chant Hare Krishna? Who's telling you to do that? Who's telling you to chant Hare Krishna? Who's telling you to have a Sangha? Who's telling you to have an ISKCON? Who's telling you to have a guru? Maybe if Gaura Hari Das wasn't the fucking cheater scammer that he is, he'd come into my chat and talk to me. How about that? Take that back to him and tell him I said that. Okay? All these gurus are so-called, but they do nothing for you. Absolutely nothing. He can't name one thing that Guru Hari does. He gives me a safe space where I can jack off to fucking the fuck. Okay, moron, hear this. Okay, moron, hear this. I'm very new to the sun guy. Immediately read, you know how energy works. You know what? Fuck you, Gary. Fuck off, man. I don't give a shit about Guru Hari Das. I don't give a shit if he's for or against Prabhupada. I don't give a fuck about him. And if you want him to come in here and talk to me, I'll talk to him. I don't give a fuck. You think I give a fuck about Guru Hari Das? You think I give a fuck about Jayapataka Swami? Send his ass in here too. I'll talk to him. I don't give a fuck. What makes you think that Guru Hari Das knows more about Krishna than I do? Answer that question. What makes you think Guru Hari knows more about Krishna than I do? I'll tell you right now, he doesn't. He doesn't know anything more about Krishna than I do. All right. So I'm going to kick you out too? What is Guru Hari? What does he know that I don't know? You tell me, what does he know? What does he know that I don't? All right. So I'm going to end it here. I got other things I got to do. I wasn't going to go this long, but I mean, I'll wait. If you can tell me if you can tell me. Nice ego. Who cares? I'm not in your cult, so I don't care about your friggin' ego this and your false ego and all that crap. Your cult shit doesn't work on me. So what does he know what's he going to teach me about Krishna that I don't know? What is it that I don't know about Krishna? What is it? He's got some insight. No problem. Hey, this is how you deal with these freaks. You got to tell them to their face. They're freaks. You're a fucking freak. What the fuck does Guru Hari Das know? Fuck off. Fuck off. Take that back to Guru Hari Das too. Yeah, I'm just an ordinary person. I'm nothing special, but compared to these Krishna freaks, we're all saints compared to these Krishna freaks. Compared to these Krishna freaks, fucking Ted Bundy is a saint. Guy comes in here and wants me to go toe to toe with Guru Hari Das, but they can't even tell me why I should. Thanks. Hey, you're welcome, man. I enjoy it. If I can bring these guys down and expose them for the fucking scammers and douchebags that they are, I'll do it all day, all night, every day, every night. Yeah, I wouldn't call it harassing, but yeah, it's typical Krishna shit. So anyway, I want to thank everybody for watching. I mean, I really I want to thank everybody for watching, for liking, subscribing, sharing the videos. I'm having a good time with these guys because these guys are just, they think that they've got it, and they're they've got nothing. They're just a big zero. I don't even want to talk to my brother about it. His wife are the most fanatical people. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm really sorry to hear that. I'm really sorry to hear that. But come and join. Come join my chats. I would love to have a conversation with you and get these things out. It's really great. And thanks to all of you guys out there. Really, I really appreciate it. Like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to try and do these every day. I'm going to try and get something going on every day. So again, I want to thank you. Have a great day, great night, great morning, great afternoon, wherever you are. And watch out for these Krishna freaks. They come in all shapes, sizes, colors. They're not just ISKCON. They can be anywhere, any place. And watch out for them. And please stay out of a cult, everybody. Thanks.